Man, don't you need me up here with you right now?
Let's get him up.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Not at all. Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are here at Agape Missionary Baptist Church on 75th Avenue in the Banks community. Unfortunately, we are not here to worship, but we are here because this place of worship became a crime scene. Through my administration's partnership with law enforcement and Safe, Hopeful, Healthy BR, my office has worked tirelessly to change the trajectory of crime and build community. And so we called this press conference today because anything that threatens that progress that we've already been making and the forward movement of a safe, hopeful, and healthy community is a direct affront to our law-abiding citizens of this community. So today we want to address not only the several shootings in our community in the past 24 hours, but also the concerning nature of the vicinity of these crimes and the neighborhoods that are grappling with these issues. Joining me are Baton Rouge Police Chief TJ Morris, members of the command staff, the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office, members of the council, community members from Banks and Scotlandville, Darius Lannis with 100 Black Men, Pastor Larry Dents of Agape Church, a host of other members of the faith-based community, Dr. Mark Laperouse, the medical director of Our Lady of the Lakes Emergency Room, and a host of other safe, hopeful, healthy partners. Now, the vast majority of the residents who live here are law-abiding, good, family-oriented, hard-working people who are being held hostage in fear and bloodshed by a small number of individuals. People in this community shouldn't have to fear gunshots in and out day and night, especially when they are trying to go to sleep and have a quiet night with their family. That's unacceptable. They're tired of it and we're all tired of it. And I am here to say to those residents today, you are not forgotten. I'm also here to say to those small number of bad actors who are trying to run havoc in our community that we will hold you accountable. These law enforcement partners will hold you accountable. You know, I'm thinking back about one of our first Move EBR projects. It was right here in the Banks community. We put sidewalks on 72nd Avenue. And so we have made concerted efforts and investments right here in the Banks community. But we can't make investments in infrastructure without investing in the well-being and the safety of the people who live here. My office was just here holding a meeting in the Banks community last night at the time of one of these shootings. Attendees from the Banks and Scotlandville neighborhoods were working on strategies to improve community safety. We often hear that we need community involvement. This community is involved in making it a safe community. Their presence at the meeting last night spoke volumes. Many of them responded to this scene to offer support. They were here to console families and to work on intervening and trying to end ongoing feuds between groups we're concerned about. Now, I certainly believe in a multifaceted approach of community and police. You've heard me say that message over and over again. However, I want to be distinctively clear that these community outreach efforts are to complement our dedicated law enforcement. Baton Rouge Police Department, East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office, and all of our law enforcement agencies will do whatever is necessary to rid our streets of the bad actors so we can return peace to this community and the people of this community. Right now, I am going to ask our police chief, TJ Morris, to come up. Chief Morris.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I appreciate it, and I'm thankful and I'm glad that we share similar vision for a prosperous and safe Baton Rouge. I am Chief TJ Morris of the Baton Rouge Police Department. I get notified of every shooting that happens inside the city, and I go out to a lot of the scenes. I was here last night speaking with the family just yesterday. The past 24 hours have been gut-wrenching. I've been in these communities where these recent shootings happened since I started in 2003 as a patrol officer, and more recently meeting with people as I navigate my first 100 days as chief of police. Good, hard-working, honest people that deserve to live in a safe neighborhood. Unfortunately, while uniformed patrol officers are working tirelessly, there have been a small group of individuals, and yes, we know them to be involved in separate groups that for one reason or another just don't like each other, and don't like each other for things that don't make sense, and certainly doesn't mean that people should have to live in fear in their communities. If some of you are involved in these things, or if you know the people involved in these senseless groups or these retaliatory shootings, know that my detectives know these groups, and they're digging even deeper into your activities. To the communities that have been locations of these recent violence incidents, know that your safety is my top priority. I believe your streets should be just as safe as the ones with police units in the driveways. Anyone in Baton Rouge should be able to sit on their front porch and enjoy a quiet afternoon. Help us make sure that they can. If you know something, if you see something, even if it's just something suspicious, like there's a car that's passed up and down the street one or too many times, call us. Let us come and do what you can't, and let us know what you know. Crime Stoppers takes anonymous tips 24 hours online at p3tips.com and over the phone or through text at 225-344-STOP, S-T-O-P. Our department is working with the Sheriff's Office in all kind of communities, and we're going to do anything that they need us to help them out with, and I know that they will help us out also. The Baton Rouge Police Department will continue collaborative efforts to get and keep violent offenders off our streets by working with federal and local law enforcement partners, our district attorney's office, and with the 19th JDC. Our agency has begun to organize a special unit of detectives, analysts, and uniformed officers aimed at addressing what we've witnessed in the last 24 hours. We'll compound our current patrols and enforcement actions and increase proactive policing going into this weekend. We can only create a safer Baton Rouge by working together, sharing resources and intelligence, and getting help from those good, hardworking, honest people in the community. Today, we've got members of the community present who are stepping up for a safer Baton Rouge, but we need more people behind us in our efforts as law enforcement. We need more businesses, more faith leaders, more mothers and fathers, and community elders to step up too. Thank you very much.
Now we'll hear from the Sheriff's Department.
Good evening. Sheriff Office standing behind the mayors and the Chief of Police of Baton Rouge. It's a community effort that we all got to work together. There's no other way to fix this. So when we start getting the communities involved in what's going on out here in the communities, that's the only way we're going to be able to solve it. So you see something, say something, people, because we need your help. There's no other way we can do this without the community support. The community got to stand up and decide, hey, today is the day I'm going to take my community back. So once we get that established, we all going to be fine. So we're praying for the families in this community, but when everybody stand together, I know it's a big challenge right now. We're seeing somebody die in your family and in your community. So once we get together, start working together, people, that's the only way we're going to be able to fix this. On behalf of the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff Office and Sid Gotro, I'd like to thank you for allowing the sheriff office to stand part of here with you, Mayor.
Law enforcement, we're going to step over here. We'll have the mayor to step on.
For quite some time, we've talked about the way that we have seen improvements in public safety in our communities has been due to a collaborative effort. The community working for their community to bring safety in the community. And so, as we close here today, we're certainly resolute that enforcement to keep our streets safe and to rid our streets of bad actors is indeed taking place. Before I close, I want to ask Dr. Laperouse to come up and speak to the violence from a medical perspective. Dr. Laperouse.
Thank you, Mayor. At Our Lady of the Lake, we are the level 1 trauma center for this region of the Louisiana. We see the sickest of the sick that come through our doors. We have definitely noticed an increase in senseless, avoidable traumas such as stabbings and shootings. While our team is always ready and we're always there to care for every patient that comes through our doors, we're having to focus so much effort and attention on these patients that is making other populations, patients with congestive heart failure, patients with heart attacks, patients with strokes, that much more difficult to take care of because our team is stretched thin caring for all of these traumas. So we need everyone's help here. These are senseless, these are avoidable. They're utilizing so many of the resources that we have in our hospitals. We need to be able to be ready for all of the sickest of Baton Rouge, everybody in this community and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Laperouse. I want to talk specifically to our parents and our grandparents right now. It is imperative that we increase the day-to-day conversation with our young people. They are being influenced by what they see on social media. Talk to them. Let's connect them to the many partners and the many resources that are serving Baton Rouge. We have a resource line for our peace brokers that can proactively save our youth and make sure our young men and young boys remain safe, alive, and free. So I want everybody to write this number down in the earshot of my voice and share it with your family who may have troubled youth. The number is 389-8771, 389-8771. There are programs and services available before a young person makes a bad decision. I want to thank all of our community members that are vested in the well-being of their neighborhood that have joined me here today. You have our concern, our care, but most importantly, you have our commitment to action. Thank you so much. We'll take any questions that you might have right now.
John, do you have a question? Yes, I do. Mayor, nice to meet you. I'm a new reporter from NBC and Fox.
Welcome.
I was in Baton Rouge a few weeks ago. My question is also for the chief, Chief Morris. I don't know if you could maybe get up there as well. It seems as though that this violence has gotten out of control and it's continuing. Just the other day, within the last 24 hours, we have 2 deaths and we have 6 that were injured in, I believe, 6 different shootings in this very area. What can the city and the police be doing to help stop this? What more can the city and law enforcement do to stop this violence?
That's a very good question. I want to say that first and foremost, we do not ignore the challenges that we have, but we also don't ignore that community members, that law enforcement have been collaborating to work to get our numbers down. The incidents that have happened over the past number of days certainly indicate an uptick. But I believe that it is not going to be the outcome for the rest of our year. And the chief certainly can come up and address some of the strategies that he has already outlined and will be implementing moving forward. Chief?
Yeah, Chief, I just think that someone coming into this community and looking at the violence, I've worked in multiple TV markets across the years, and it seems as though the violence here is out of control. No, this is your first 100 days. What do you think the police should be doing to help stop this violence?
So the violence is definitely not out of control. I want to echo what the mayor said. We have seen a decrease in our violent crimes. Over the past 24 hours, unfortunately, we have some isolated incidents, some groups, some retaliation type shootings. We are going to beef up our efforts on investigation. We're going to beef up our efforts in technology, and we're going to beef up our efforts on feet on the ground. Coming up with a very strategic, proactive policing. We do not want to hold the people in these communities even more hostage in the fear that they're already in, but we are going to have an increased police presence going after those bad actors that we know are up to no good in these areas. And so you're going to see more boots on the ground, you're going to see more patrol cars, but they're going to be very strategic based off of our analysis and our technology gathering efforts.
Elise, what's your question?
Thank you, Chief.
No
Thank you,
question,
ma'am.
Miranda?
My question is, how many of these shootings are related?
So it's a little too early to tell right now exactly how many are related. We know that it's they're not completely isolated. A lot of them have some overlap similarities going back to the beginning of the year and even last year. Just looking at social media and people that are claimed to be on this group and that group want to take credit for some of these things, and that's why we're digging into those investigative efforts.
We'll take one more question from Channel 2. Does Channel 2 have a question? Yes.
So what are the plans for a potential street crime unit?
So you're not going to see a street crimes unit per se. What you're going to see is a very strategic, proactive policing that is geared and teamed up with detectives, crime analysis, the district attorney's office, Crime Stoppers, that has a lot of oversight and a lot of management and leadership criteria. You're going to see strategic, proactive policing. It's not going to be an old street crimes unit. It's going to be something that is different and a lot better.
Thank you, guys. That's going to conclude our comments today, and follow up with us if you have any questions.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all.
If you lost someone, when was that?